Yeah.
My man was a truck driver from Chicago, right? Went down to one of those
21-year
sundown
old.
towns, and they
Yeah.
found him sitting up against a tree with a rope around his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's what the sheriff says, right?
Yeah. And nobody's talking about this. The family then went on, all the social media platforms and was trying to get it out. And I don't know why the mainstream, nobody has like touched this shit. Like they don't find this a little odd. And it was like, yeah, he went into a Walmart or something and bought the rope, but nobody wants to give them the footage.
Well, you're not gonna. They're not. The mainstream is not gonna cover this because that goes against. That's opposed to the narrative that America is not a racist country. I will say, for me, I need more facts to just say that. I mean, the sheriff seemed a lot more forthcoming than any of these other goddamn chiefs or whatever. And he said it wasn't tied around the tree, wasn't no knot, none of this. I think if the family was smart, this is just me. Um, even though the initial autopsy said that there was
Bleeding.
trauma. There was trauma around the sensitive areas of the neck. If I was the family, me personally, what I would do is I would get my own autopsy, and I would also have a private investigator go out there and investigate that shit. Because all we have right now, and I have no reason to call the man a liar, but all we have right now is that the rope was hanging over the tree. It wasn't tied. It wasn't a noose. You know what I'm saying? And it
Hmm.
wasn't a knot around his neck. So, we can't definitively call it a lynching. We know what it looks like.
Right.
You know, it also could be a situation, just playing devil's advocate. It also could be a situation where, maybe they didn't just string, and I'm just a,
You said disclaimer, the devil's
yeah,
advocate. Yeah.
indulge me because it's a horrible thing. And, like I said, these things fuck with me. But what's to say that it wasn't tied around his neck? What's to say that some motherfuckers didn't just pull his motherfucker until they saw he was dead and then dropped him? A
Yeah.
knot didn't necessarily have to be tied around a branch. But, you know, there's a little bit more insight that can come out of this, if the family, will put up the funding for a private investigator and the
Hopefully
second
so.
autopsy. Yeah.
And just by getting, social awareness, just getting it out there. Because it's a lot of questions. That's
Hmm.
all. Like you said, on for the whole aspect of the situation, it just don't look right. Everybody's like, man, he's
No.
a truck driver. He was passing through, and all of a sudden he turned up dead. And it was like, it might have been a suicide. It might have been this. It was like, okay, then give us some more info.
Right.
That's all. Just give us some more info.
Well, I think I think, like I said, the sheriff was, hey man, they're saying we're not being forthcoming with the family, and we are, but I think they're still in the process of gathering information. I want to know, hey man, who was he on the phone with before this may have happened, and where's those, that footage at of him in the
Yeah.
store.
Yeah.
Not just what he purchased, but did he have any interactions with anybody in the store? Was it any
Mhm.
altercations, or what about the parking lot? Did somebody, maybe when he walked in there or when he pulled up, did somebody get out and follow him? You know what I mean? Something like that. Something has got to be there. If this is a Walmart, you know what I mean?
How
So
many times we talked about once we step outside, we just assume we on camera,
absolutely.
from businesses to ring cams to the ring cams on people's houses. Wh-
Hmm.
There's a timeline. If you out in the open, like especially by Walmart or something, yeah,
Hmm.
so many different. Every corner has a camera on it. Just want to get some footage and get some clarity. That's
Hmm.
all.
And if it, you know what, and if it is, it needs to be treated as such. And whoever, um, if somebody did this, whoever did it, man, they need to be punished to the full extent of the law, man. They need to sit a hate crime on them. If somebody can punch somebody from a protected class in the face, and y'all calling that a hate crime, or if somebody calls, one of them people from the alphabet community the F word, and that's a hate crime, then surely if it is found that this young man was murdered by some folks, and the rope alone
Hmm.
is, what I'm saying, and hey, slap that hate crime on him. Let's not play with this, man.
I
Thank
think
you.
it's I think it's inconsistencies and it's BS. And if you're a truck driver out there, I'm a truck driver, and we know to get in and out of Henderson. You know what I'm saying? So the actual place itself is known for racism, and the fact that they needed what did they say? The fact that they needed his GPS, that was BS. To me, they blew, like, what do you need his GPS? You know where he was at. You knew where he was hanging at. So you knew he was at a Walmart. Y'all didn't need a GPS. And then whatever company he drives, they have cameras. You know what I'm saying? Most company they have cameras on their truck. So you know what I'm saying? You can get that feeded footage, but you don't need the GPS.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you know where he was at. I don't know. It just seemed like BS. You know what I'm saying? To
Hmm.
me. You know what I
Let me
mean? And if I was the family, I would definitely look into that, and I would definitely have my own people, or you know what I'm saying, my own county look into it, because that's to me it's foul play. That's my opinion.
let me ask you a question though, Miss Kiki. You know how we from Youngstown, everybody, on this panel, and we all know which parts of Ohio to kind of, zig, and then which other parts to zag through. But when it comes to other places, we naturally ignorant of that. Do you think maybe him being 21 years old, he might have been a bit naive to his surroundings and, the environment in which he was in? Because somebody, I don't know if it's true, somebody said it was a sundown town. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, don't nobody stay there too long. And yeah, he could be very naive. He's young. He's seeing the country for the first time. You know what I mean? He probably was being nice. You know what I'm saying? Somebody probably lowered him. He just being cool, like him coming from Chicago. You know,
Hmm.
he could be definitely lowered
Hmm.
because you know what I'm saying, he's young and he looked like, I don't know, but from the picture he looked like, he got a smile. He looked like he's upbeat. He doesn't
Hmm.
look like the type that would kill himself. And his family, if they're appalled and like, nah, that's not that. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
know. Like, it's just something not right in the milk with this story. And man, if I was the family, I would go hard and I would keep pressing the issue. And
they are. That's how I found
that's
it.
not
They,
right. And it's
yeah.
just, I just didn't like how I just didn't like how he was given the story. It just seemed like you rather cover up about Henderson when you know Henderson. I mean, you live there. You're an officer. You know what it is. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So,
Well, we
Okay.
gotta remember. We got.
and the
We
South is
gotta.
the South is known. Different parts of the South, they are a little bit ruthless. You know what I'm saying? And he's from up here in Chicago. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different up here than what it is down south. And then you probably can get misled from, there is a Southern hospitality, you know what I mean, that he's probably wasn't used to, you know what I mean, and probably got lured and mishandled. That's just how I think about it. And I wish the family, they have my deepest condolences. Like, seriously.
Well, in defense, I'm gonna say this in defense of the sheriff, and you're right. I'm glad that my our deepest condolences, because that's a young man's cat is still a baby, man. They say your brain doesn't finish maturing until the age 24, 25. Um, and I'm glad the family is not um letting up on it, because once again, they want to parcel out answers to them about their family member. But that's why I said, man, it would behoove them to get their own private investigator to do a second autopsy. The young man, I can't remember his name right now. My apologies, but you remember the young man that was wrapped up in the gym mat? He had the dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the school, and they took
The,
all his organs.
Yeah.
yeah, the family, I want to say, did a second autopsy on him, and then that's when they figured out everything that happened to him. So yeah, man, I mean, I don't see why a 21-year-old would do that. I mean, yeah, you never know what somebody's dealing with or what's riding them. But yeah, I don't, I just, hey, let's get some concrete answers. And to the sheriff's defense, though, he know where he at. That sheriff
Hmm.
don't mean nothing to the locals. That badge don't mean shit to the locals if he step out of line. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
All right. It's transition, fam.
Let's get it.
Condolences to the McGee family.